I'm going to show you how to keep score on the Liebel Florsheim scorecards. I put in a couple teams, Team A or Team 1 and a Team 2. Put some scores in for them, just some random scores. So I want to show you how to keep the score. So the first thing we do, I think we all understand, is we just tally up the scores. So player A got a 44, 43, 39, and a 50. Now, if this were the first night that we played golf, we would be establishing our handicap on that night. So this is true for a sub that hasn't played before or the first night that we play golf. So kind of by default on the first night, we're going to shoot our handicap. And our handicaps are going to be exactly how many over par that we shot. So if we shot a 44 and the par is 35, we're going to get a 9 handicap. So our individual handicap here is a 9. On the scorecard, there's a little cheat sheet that allows you to get this. So if you look over here and you look at where 44 is, it'll show you that it's a 9 handicap. So using that same logic, a 43 is going to be an 8, a 39 is going to be a 4, and a 50 is going to be a 15. So these would just be some handicaps that we would have on the first night. So on the first night of golf, when we play, your individual net is usually going to be about 35. So I think everybody on the first night gets about 35. And the scores, you'll notice, are going to be really even on the first night when we don't have any handicap. So the first night establishes the handicap. So let's pretend that it's not the first night and people have established handicaps. So this person shot a little bit better than the handicap. Let's give them like a 12. Maybe this person a little bit worse. We'll give them a 5. This person, we'll give them a 3, a little better. And this person was worse. We'll give them a 12. So when we're looking at that, the amount of strokes that you get per hole has to do with your handicap. So let's start with the guy that has 3. That'll be easy to see. So if you have, that means you get 3 strokes on the 9, and you're going to get the 3 hardest hole strokes. So the hardest holes have to do with the handicap right here. That handicap tells you which are the top 3. So in this case, it's number 18 is a 1 handicap. We'll get a stroke there. Number 16 is a 2, and number 15 is the 3. So you can see the program will figure this out and put it on the card, or you can, if you have to do it manually, if you have a sub, you can put that in as well. Same with the 5. He's got everything up to a 5. The 12 now gets 2 strokes on some of the holes, so they'll get 2 strokes on 3 holes. So again, it'll be the 3 hardest handicap holes. So the 1, or number 18, number 16, and number 15. The person that shot a 44 would have a net 32, because it's going to be 12 minus 44. 5 minus 35 is going to be the 38. 3 minus 39 is going to be 36. And 50 minus 12 is going to be a 38. So that's going to be their net scores. So if you want to look and kind of see who won, you can look at this and kind of add up the net scores, the per hole points. So there's going to be 18 points that are available per hole, so you can get 2 points per hole, and the overall round where you get a +7. So if you win, like this team that got 38 and 32 is going to be a, that's 70 combined, and a 36 and 38, 74. So a 70 and a 74. So this team, Team A, is going to win the +7. So let's go ahead and go through the how you score for each hole. So now we've established how to do the handicaps. Now we want to look at the point system. So for individual points, we subtract the 5 minus the 1. So that would give this person a net par. So if we look over here on the scorecard, you can see what you get for points. So a net par is going to get you 2 points. This person here got a 4 with 1 stroke. They got a net birdie, which is going to give them 3 points. This person here got a 4 and no strokes, so that's a par, that's 2 points. And a 5 and a 1, that's another par, so that's going to be 2 points. So in this case, this person on team 1B actually won the hole, so they would get 2 points for this. Usually the way that I mark that on the scorecard is I'll put an X over that to indicate that they won that hole. Let's go ahead and go on and do the second hole. So here, this person got a 3 with 1 stroke, so that's a birdie. That'll give them a 3. This person got a 5 with no strokes. That's a bogey, which is 1 point. This person got a par with no strokes, which is 2 points. And this person got a 5 with 1, which is 1 point. So in this case, this person won all the points. Okay, so far this team has 4 points after 2 holes. Let's do one more. Let's see if we can get a winner on the bottom. Maybe this hole will do it. So this one is a par 4. They got a 6 with 1 stroke. That gives them a bogey, so they get 1. This is a 5 with no strokes. That's a bogey. That's a 1. The same with this person is a bogey. It's a 1. And then this person got a 6 and 1. That's a bogey, so that's 1 stroke. So this one is going to be a split. So this one means that each team gets half of a point. So I signify that usually by pick somebody. It doesn't matter which one. They all got 1s. So this person got a half a point, and this person got a half a point. So I'll go ahead and fill the rest of these out as I go through, and then we'll see how it goes. So that's what the scorecard would look like when it was filled out. So if we look at individual points again, if you won the hole completely, you get 2, and if you split, you get just 1 point for it. So if we already know that team number 1 got a 32 and a 38, which adds up to 70, which beats the 36 and the 38. So they're going to get the plus 7. Won't work. And they get the amount of holes that they got. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they have 13, which gives them a total of 20. Whereas this team just gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this team just gets 5. So the score with these two teams is going to be 20-5. So again, you get for the individual low net, you get plus 7, and then per hole, there's 2 strokes per hole. So again, they get 2 strokes here, 2 strokes on the next hole, split, so they get 1 stroke, 2 more, 1 stroke, 1 stroke, 2 more, 1 stroke, 1 stroke. Adds up to 13, which gets them 20. This one only split 5 holes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives them 5 strokes. So the end score here is 20-5. The other thing that we want to look at for individual points is it's nice also to know what your individual points were. There's an award for individual points, so the top 3 players with individual points gets an award. So if we add all of these up, the individual points, and the computer does this for us, but if you want to add up your points and see where you are, how you did that night, you can add all of these up. So this person gets 21 individual points. If we add all of these up, it's going to be 16 individual points. If we add all of this up, it's going to be 17 individual points. And these added up are going to be 15 individual points. Now, again, it's a good way to kind of tell how you did. So we have this team got a 21 and a 16 individual points, which is better than what this team did with 15 and 17 individual points. So that's why the score is kind of lopsided on. Another important thing is how many over par you can get per hole. So over here it tells you what your handicap is and then what your max over is. So in this case, if you're under 10, like these two players are, the most they can get over par is going to be 4 strokes over par. If you go between 10 and 25, which these two 12s are, you can go to 5 strokes over par, and if you're more than 25, you can go 6 strokes over par. So make sure that you get the maxes put in. The program doesn't figure that out, so if you would, please make sure you get that. Also, it's really helpful when you add up the total scores for me. So if I can't read some of the writing, I can at least tell if there's something that's questionable, whether or not I have it correct or not. Let me show you how to read the stats sheet. So here's an example of our stat sheet a little more than halfway through the year. So the first thing to talk about is the handicap. So your handicap is going to be your best 3 out of your last 5 rounds. So our handicaps are going to be how many over par you shoot. So if the par is 35 and you shoot a 45, you'll have a 10 handicap. Your first 3 rounds are going to be, your handicap is going to be basically just your average over par. So when you start hitting your 4th and 5th rounds and beyond, now you drop off the highest 2 scores. So you're actually, it's a little bit more challenging to shoot your handicap as the season goes on. So once you get past week 3, it's a little bit more difficult to shoot your handicap. We get individual points. So I showed you on the scorecard how to get your individual points. We also have a contest for that. So the individual top 3 usually get, every week we pay a little bit into a Hamilton County gift card. So at the end of the season, we have a fair amount of money in that. I usually divvy that out, so the gift cards will go out to the top 3 players. So on the stat sheet, I will sort in order of who has the highest average points. Also, to win an award for average points, you need to play 75% of the time. So it's not really fair if somebody doesn't play as much. It's a little bit easier for them to get higher points because they don't knock off the high scores as often as somebody that plays all the time. The other thing we have is the team standings. So we'll have the this is who's winning for the week. So the total points they've accumulated throughout the year is in this column. And then in the column next to that is going to be kind of how many positions they moved that week. So in this case, team number 1 has been at number 1, so they didn't move. This group in number 2 has actually came up 2 spots, same with the people behind them, and this group went down 3 spots. So that's how they, you can just look at these arrows, and the -3 kind of shows how you're doing in that. And then the skins, I think, are self-explanatory. We just do an accumulative, how many skins that you accumulated through the season,